Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Link Through Social podcast. Well, time flies by. We're at episode 10 today. What a day to celebrate. Thank you to all of you who have downloaded, viewed, liked, and subscribed. We can't thank you enough. Now, later on in the show, we have Jeff Revilla, founder of Poduty.com. That's right, Poduty. It's a live podcast theater. I think you're really going to enjoy the interview. But first, let's get started with some stories from AI and social media that are making news this week. Facebook and Instagram deploy new AI tool to spot kids online. And here's how it works. The US-based tech giant Meta appears to be tightening its own grip on age verification, and this time it's leaning heavily on artificial intelligence. In a recent blog post, the Instagram maker revealed a new system designed to identify users under the age of 13 by analyzing visual and contextual signals across its platforms. Very interesting. The idea sounds futuristic, maybe, but even a little unsettling at first, But Meta insists it's being careful about how this technology works. According to the American tech giant, the system scans photos and videos for general themes and visual cues, which include indicators like height and bone structure. But Meta is quick to draw a line here. We want to be clear, they said. This is not facial recognition. The company said, adding that it does not identify the specific person in the image. Instead of pinpointing identities, the AI looks for patterns. It also reads between the lines, quite literally. Posts, captions, bios, and even comments are analyzed for contextual clues that might suggest someone is underage. Now, what happens if you're flagged? If the system believes an account belongs to someone under 13, it doesn't just issue a warning. The account can be deactivated. To regain access, the user will need to verify their age. And this AI-based detection is currently being tested in select regions, including the United States, with a broader rollout expected over time. This is very timely because we've been speaking about this a lot on the show about banning children under the age of actually 16 from using social media. And it started in Australia. It's going across Europe. Here in North America, the governments of Canada and the US are both looking at it very strongly. So it's good to see that Facebook are trying to do some things preemptively before these laws potentially get passed. So we'll keep an eye on this as it rolls out further and keep it here to the Link Through Social podcast. We will keep you updated. Now, next, our sponsor, SmartPost app, has a few new exciting things to tell you about. Their standard plan just got better. They now offer 30 queued schedule posts, 25 drafts, and 7 days of completed post history. More room to plan, save, and review your content. So that's at smartpostapp.com. They've also released update v26.13, which is now available and has added quick view post access for published and completed posts, improved completed post status display, fix some bugs, and stability improvements. So go to smartpostapp.com to learn more. Next, KinHealth raises $9 million to build an AI note taker for patients. The market for AI note-taking devices has exploded, especially in the United States, with the category generating over $600 million in revenue last year alone, according to a Menlo Ventures report. KinHealth is building a note taker that can transcribe your visits to doctors, put together medical advice, and surface next steps when required. To that end, the startup has raised $9 million in a seed funding round led by Maveron. The app is similar to a meeting note taker. You can record doctor visits and it will return an AI summary of the meeting with the next steps as all of which you share with family and friends if you so choose. It also lets you write down questions that you might want to ask during the next visit. And KinHealth says it encrypts all patient data. This is very important. And that summarizes are kept private by default. The tool is not HIPAA certified as of yet. It is a patent pending, and we'll have to keep an eye on this story. But this is where we're going in the future with doctor visits, especially since doctors are so backed up. So it's very hard to even find a family doctor right here in Canada. So some of these AI options to help both doctors and now patients are very important. And in the future, it will be something that we will all need. Now, next, Meta has quietly released a new standalone app for Facebook groups called Forum. The company seems to be positioning Forum as a platform that functions similarly to Reddit, describing the app as a dedicated space built for deeper discussions, real answers, and communities that you care about. After you sign in with your Facebook account, Forum will load in your group's profile and activity and let you make posts with a nickname. Just like on a standard Facebook app, Meta noted that your groups still exist on Facebook and anything you share on Forum will be visible in your groups on Facebook. Meta says Forum's feeds are centered on conversation within groups, allowing users to see what real people are saying, not just what's trending, and making it easy to pick up where they left off. The app includes an AI-powered Ask tab that lets users ask questions and receive answers compiled from discussions across different groups. There's also an AI admin assistant to help administrators manage groups and moderate the content. So there we go. That's all the news for this week. The Link Through Social podcast will be back right after this.
Tired of stressing over what to post on social media? Meet Smart Post App, your all-in-one solution to create, schedule, and grow your content effortlessly. In just a few taps, you can generate engaging posts, stay consistent, and keep your audience coming back for more. No more guessing, no more burnout, just smarter content, faster. Whether you're a business owner, creator, or an entrepreneur, Smart Post helps you show up like a pro. Start posting smarter today at smartpostapp.com. Smart Post App, because your content should work for you.
Welcome back to the Link Through Social podcast. We have another special guest for us today. I'm really excited to talk with Jeff Revilla from Poduty, Poduty Live. And it's Poduty.com is his actual website. Jeff has a podcast theater in Pennsylvania where creators turn their shows into live monetizable events. With over 20 years in digital marketing and a decade in podcast and live streaming experience, he helps podcasters grow audiences and build real revenue through live experiences. He's also the author of the new business model for podcasting and host of the trivia show Stuff I've Never Learned, I Never Knew, where learning and entertainment both come together. Oh, I'm really excited to hear about that too. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It could be called Stuff I Never Learned because I've been hosting that for 10 years and I haven't learned anything.
There you go. Well, we're going to get to your trivia show in a minute, but why don't you just briefly, before we get started, just give our viewers and listeners just a little background about yourself professionally and how you came to this point.
Yeah, professionally, I've been a marketing director for like 15 years and just fell in love with digital marketing early in the 2000s and got lucky, like kind of forged my own career after college. And in 2005, I was uploading videos to the internet and building message boards and social networks. So I got
Nice.
this early start and this early feel. and an early, like a head start into the world of digital marketing because I needed to do it for my business back then. And that became a very tangible set of skills, even better than going to college, were those early years in the 2000s where I learned all this stuff and I'm able to apply that in different aspects. And professionally, like I said, I've been a marketing director for an auto group.
Okay.
I managed 10 car franchises
Wow.
and I've been doing that for 15, 16 years now. But I have a passion. You know, I'm a very creative person. I like to do things. I'm always thinking of ideas. And about 10 years ago, I started thinking about expanding the definition of what a podcast could be. You know, now we
Right.
hear a lot about, Apple's adding video and all
Yeah.
these, video podcasts. But I'm thinking about this in such a bigger way with such a bigger audience that can attract smaller podcasters, independent podcasters. You don't need
Right.
to have a million downloads to do what I'm doing. It can be a fun hobby with friends, a night out, and we'll get into some of what all that means. But me personally, I'm a passionate podcaster, and I've been that way for
It
over 10
resonates.
years.
I
Yeah.
can tell. Just in our first few minutes, you can tell that you're very excited about it and very passionate. And isn't that so special, Jeff, when you're doing something that you really enjoy doing? I myself, I love being a podcaster. I've been involved with social media management since 2010, I guess. Used to be in the automotive manufacturing business before that. Just a um, totally different industry, and I like what I'm doing, and it's enjoyable and exciting. So
Yeah.
it's great to see that you're very passionate about this, and so I have to hear about this live podcasting theater that you've set up. Um, Describe how it works. Do you go out and look for podcasters? Do they find you? How does the system work out?
Yeah, it started with me trying to expand that definition of podcasting. I started doing live shows at coffee shops and bars. I did some on a used car lot, just
Oh, nice.
running my show and having a good time. And like you said, I would do this without money involved. Like, this is just something fun for me to do. I
Yeah,
really enjoy creating something and putting it out into the world. And as that evolved, as COVID hit, or you really couldn't perform anywhere,
right.
that idea inside of me kept expanding. I kept thinking about, well, where can I do podcasts? How can I do this on a bigger scale? And then really I was like, what if, in today's technology on a bootstrap budget, what if I could build like a little TV studio?
Yeah,
And just like Saturday Night Live, it's not much different. Like, there's a stage with an audience and they're broadcasting to the world. And I thought, well, what if I could do that for podcasters and do it in a way where if you ever tried to put on your own live event, you might approach a hotel or a
mm,
banquet room, and they want to charge you an arm and a leg,
they
thousands of
do.
dollars. You have to sign a contract. You have to use their audio video technicians. I'm like, well, what if I can make it turnkey where you can just walk off the street? It's already set up. You go to the
Right.
stage, you perform your show, you get the recording, and you go home. So there's no
Amazing.
tear down, there's no setup. It's we can just keep flipping this room over and over again. And that idea became this infinite seat theater where, yes, I'm only in a 1,600 square foot building with 40 chairs surrounding a stage,
Hmm.
but surrounding that stage are cameras that can broadcast to the world. So now my little baby space, my little baby theater, can really have the same capacity as Madison Square Garden. And so
Right.
what I try to do is, bring podcasters in, and we an event page, we sell the tickets for them, we produce the event, we record the event, we give them back the recording. We don't take any ownership over the recording.
Sure.
And at the end of the night, instead of reviewing the terms of the contract, we have a handshake deal where I show you the dashboard where we sold all the tickets and we split that total 50-50. No podcaster is ever on the hook for
Right.
money at the end of the night. They walk out of the store, out of the doors with money in their pocket.
That's amazing. I know there's a lot of podcasters out there, or people that are in different types of industry that want to get into podcasting, but like you said, that's a very important thing. Equipment isn't cheap. You can kind of bootstrap it a little bit, but if your budget is really tight and you don't have that type of money to put out, what an opportunity this is to come in, like you said, and just do your podcast and collect some cash on the way out.
Yeah, get out and then
It's a
get out.
win-win situation.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of like a comedy club where different comedians would come to a particular town and pass through a comedy club, and this is the same type of thing, but for podcasters.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I think while the use case is unique, I certainly didn't invent the small club, small theater model. That's a
yeah,
lot of it borrows from my love of comedy, my love of listening to how comedians put shows together, how they build venues, how they,
right.
how they get to perform. And a lot of that, even the layout, the C-shaped design, the darkness of the back of the room compared to the front of all those things really come from comedy clubs. And I
Amazing.
really want to recreate that feeling. Like if you've listened to a podcast on your morning commute or while you're walking the dog in the morning,
Yeah,
you sometimes feel like you're in that room with that podcaster. And
very
that's
true.
what this space is designed to do. It's you're literally in the room, but it's surreal how
Yeah,
much you're in the room. Now the people you've been listening to, they're right in front of you and you're only
amazing.
3 rows back at the furthest seat and it's you're just immersed in this magical moment that's only happening one time in the history of the world. The podcasts don't typically repeat the same show next week. It's a one shot deal, and
Right,
you're
right.
there to witness it in that moment.
Incredible. And like you said, the reach is there. There's a small group within the theater, but the reach is
Infinite.
there's no cap. There's no ceiling to it. It could be millions. It could be a few hundred people, a few thousand. It would all depend. But that's the beauty of this, and I think it's just a fantastic idea. And you're right. Some of the podcasters I have listened to for many years, they almost seem like friends because you check in with them every week or 2 or 3 times a week, depending on the frequency of their podcasts, and it becomes like a relationship you develop with the podcaster, and this is just an extra extension, a unique extension, and so it's just absolutely fabulous. Now, I have to ask. I'm a huge fan of Shark Tank in the U.S., and Kevin O'Leary is one of the sharks. And when some of these business ideas come in front of the sharks, they always talk about, oh, franchising. Is there any possibility that this might be a franchisable project?
Yeah, similar to the improv or Laugh Factory, there are certain models that we can follow in comedy. The one thing that we have going for us is from start to finish, from the idea to the recorded product, this theater controls that entire process. So
Hmm.
you come to the idea, we build the landing page. So we have the tech to build the landing page, we have the tech to process the tickets, we have the tech to produce the show. So that whole package, I've been approached already
Wow.
that there's a model here. Once
Yeah.
I figured out the theater model a little bit more, but the model for reproducing this is giving the franchise owner that full control, that full system set up
Yes.
from start to finish.
Right.
That's the model. That's the kind of like in the automotive world, you'd always hear the secret sauce, right? That's the secret
Yes.
sauce that makes it all work, and that's one way to approach it. And I'm
Awesome. No,
thinking it's
that's
probably more of a tech plus, an investment of a location, and
yes.
that's kind of the balance that we'll find with the future business model. And I know that I knew 2 years ago when I opened this place, that I was like 2 to 5 years ahead of the market. Like
Yes.
I needed runway for a couple years to really figure out what's going on. But I can tell you, in the last 3 months, and especially with the rise of AI, there is so much chatter online right now for real world experiences,
Yeah.
in-person events. It is buzzing and there is a tsunami coming of people who want to get back out into the community, who want to experience live events, who want to do meetups and
Yeah.
and business get-togethers and go to small events and support local community. It is bubbling up in a way that I hadn't seen for years. but now it's really coming in droves. And so I'm thinking that timeline might be a little bit shorter than the 5 years.
Right.
It might be in the next year to 18 months where this really becomes a thing, if not just here in Pittsburgh, but you might see these types of clubs pop up before I even get a chance to franchise it.
Yeah, no, it's true. I did a radio segment this afternoon that I do every week, and the host has me on to talk about social media and AI. And we were talking about a similar subject today. We're going back to simple, to community, to not these viral millions of followers watching a particular video, but we're going back to the grassroots of local community um, feeling. This fits right into it. So I think you're in the right place at the right time for this type of thing. Now, you also mentioned AI. So AI, in your opinion, it's growing at an astronomical rate, and we talk about it every week on this show. Um, Name some of the things, maybe a couple points that AI has helped you in growing this Hadoop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a team of one, right? I run this theater, front of house, back of house. I can literally run this with just myself. I do have some family members that pop in and help me out
Nice.
when there's more of a crowd. But I think of AI as a superpower. I don't use it for creative purposes. I'm not skimming ideas out of it. But if I need to draft a letter or an email, or I need to put together something, even the editing, I use some AI in the editing process. I will use it to extend my reach. To You would think that this place was run by a team of 10 people, but
Mhm.
it's mostly me and prompts and
You're
getting the
it.
things done that I couldn't just do by myself. So
Right.
extending those tasks, that's where I see the real power and benefit. I'm able to do some pretty crazy things just because I can hand off some of those things instead of working on an email, for an hour. I just today I had to design me an HTML template. I plugged
Yep.
in all my things and then boom, sent it off and we're good to go.
Wonderful. Yeah, those are some of the tools that I've been using as well. It's really helps streamline the some of the mundane tasks that you have to do during the day, and then you can focus on the real thing, creativity and reaching out to people and that type of thing. So that's what AI should be about, and you definitely should be using it within your business. Now, we've talked about your theater. I need to know about your trivia show. Stuff I never knew. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's the first iteration. That's kind of what really kicked off this whole idea of performing podcasts in front of people. It was 2015, and I just started on a platform called Blab, and Blab was
Oh
the
yeah, I
first live
remember.
stream. You remember
Yeah,
Blab? The four in the
yes, I did.
box, and you could let it snow and give props, and things were flying around. It was chaos, but Blab had this community element to it where you would go live, and within 3 minutes, they would dump 30 people into your stream. And I
Hmm.
would go live on Blab without any a plan other than I had my questions written to do the trivia show, and I needed 8 people per night. You imagine right now if I was trying to do a live show and I needed 8 contestants that
Yeah,
I didn't have when I hit record. You can't do that anymore. The power of live isn't like that on Facebook or anywhere else. But
right,
Blab had that social element, and it was great. And we did the first shows there, and Blab kind of crumbled under its own weight. It didn't have a business model. It
right.
just grew so rapidly, it just collapsed on itself. But that idea became what you see now as a trivia show. And when we
Right.
got to about episode 100 around 2020, when the pandemic hit, a
Hmm.
local television show picked this up, or channel, the Armstrong
Oh, really?
Neighborhood
Oh,
Channel.
wow.
So the last 75 episodes have all aired on television. So we
Oh,
do
that's
still do the trivia
fabulous.
show. It's 3 players from around the world call in and battle it out over 3 rounds of trivia,
Very
and
cool.
those all air on TV. So now instead of me, recording, editing, releasing, and producing, I now just show up, with my questions, record the show.
Yep.
I hand the show over to the cable company. They do all the editing.
What
They
else do you want?
cut me a check, and then it's it's so much better.
You can't ask for anything else, Jeff.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's
and I am starting.
unbelievable.
I'm kind of branching off of that, and there is a new show coming out that
Oh,
we've only announced locally because it's only going to be an in-person experience at first. It's called
okay.
Trivia with Jeff, and I got a luchador coming in. It's going to co-host with me. We're gonna
Nice.
do 4 games in one night. So what I'm able to do now is structure a night of trivia where people can come in, they play right on their phones. It
Right.
all gets recorded, but we're doing 4 episodes in one night. So I'll sell tickets, I'll have contestants, live contestants, and that'll be 1 month's worth of content. So I'm gonna try out this new format, and then the first episode records on May 29th, depending on when this airs.
Wonderful. And
People
then
may or
hopefully
may
you
not
can,
know if it was successful or not.
yeah, and then hopefully you can send out the masses and us here in Canada can pick it up as well. That's
Hope so.
wonderful. So, Jeff, I just want, we have to wrap things up, but tell us your website and where we can find you online if we are in the Pennsylvania
Frozen.
area and want to get connected up with you to go to the theater if there are any podcasters out there, or just to watch and listen.
Yeah, go to Poduty.com, Poduty.com. We're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So if you're in this local area, just stop by. Give me a call, even go out to the website. You can chat with me directly from the website. I'll meet you down there and give you a tour. And, anytime. I love showing off the place. I'm really proud of it. It came together in a way that I couldn't even have dreamt of. It just works for some reason. And all those things I thought about, fit into this little space. And just proud of it. We have the upcoming events on the website, new things we do. We sponsor meetups every month for podcasters. We buy pizza and drinks, and you can network with
There you
20,
go.
30 people. And it's just a great time. It's a great community that we're starting to grow here in Pittsburgh. And I think you're going to see some crazy things come from Pittsburgh. Could be the Hollywood of podcasts in, a year or two, I hope.
Wouldn't that be something? I'm kind of jealous. I might have to make my way down to Pittsburgh to come and check out your theater there.
Come on
But
down.
I'm
I'll buy
sure,
you
I
a
don't know. I
permane
think
sandwich. Yeah.
we'll be circling back and maybe bringing you back on the show later this year, Jeff. I have a feeling that things are going to explode for you, and potentially, you never know, the model of franchising this across the U.S. and maybe here in Canada. Maybe I can get the Canadian rights to this. We'll
Yeah.
have to talk off air.
You can say you knew me when, right?
That's right. That's right. Jeff Revilla, a pleasure. Thanks for coming on the Link Through Social podcast and all the best. And make sure everyone that's listening and watching out there, visit his website. And you have a wonderful evening. You take care.
You too. Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. The Link Through Social podcast will be back after this short break.
Link Through Social. We specialize in social media management, podcast production, digital media, and AI solutions. We also look after all your web design and hosting needs to enhance your online presence. Also, check out our podcast URL, linkthroughsocialpodcast.com, which links you to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe, as well as all the links of where you can listen to your podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. Link Through Social, at Link Through Social on social media. Stay connected, stay linked. It's Link Through Social Podcast. Well, that does it for episode 10. Thank you very much again for all of your support. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe across all your social media platforms. Until next week, that's it. Another edition of the Link Through Social podcast.